Hey guys, it's me, Drea. Today, one of my best friends posted on Facebook her dilemma about her brows and what to use. So I was like, you know what? Let me do a little video, just like a mini video on how I do my brows and the products that I use. So what I use for my brows, and of course I do my brows first, and before that I prime. And this is the Smashbox Photofinish primer. I prime because after my brows, of course, I do my makeup. But anyways, I do my brows, and I swear by the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. People love different things, but to me, I think Anastasia is the queen of brows. So this is what my dip brow looks like. And I use the shade Ebony because my brows are fairly dark. I don't recommend using the color black. It's just too harsh. So I use Dip Brow and Ebony. And then also, I really like the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer. So I use the concealer. And mine is in 7.0. It's like the darkest shade. So it's really close to my skin tone. I hate to see brows that are like super light up here. Super light right there. And you're like, OMG, why didn't you blend your concealer? So yeah, that's what I use for my brows. I use a couple brushes. So of course I use this type of brush to actually apply the dip brow to my brow. Of course I use my brush to brush my brows. I also use this when I'm finished. And then I use just a small concealer brush to apply the concealer to my brows. So without any further ado, my bad. And then finally, sometimes to kind of smooth out some of the harsh lines, I use like this pencil, this NYX pencil. It's alright, but really I can get the same effect with my dip brow if I'm just really light-handed, because a little goes a long way. And then I use this Sonia Kashuk brow gel, and mine is the tinted formula, and it really just helps my brows to stay in place. So let's just get started. So I just start by brushing up my brows. Okay, so mine may look a little bit more jacked than y'all's, and that's just because I very rarely go somewhere to get them arched. I just clean them up with some tweezers and a razor, and that does just fine for me. So I just take my dip brow, and I have a little mirror here because it's helping me a little bit. So I take my dip brow, and I get a tiny bit, kind of on both sides. That should be enough. Then I kind of scrape it off on the side. And what I do is I start about 3/4 of the way, not all the way, to the front part of the brow, and just very light-handed, because you really don't want a super dark brow. You really want it to be natural looking. So go in here, then I turn my brush like this, and kind of make hair-like strokes. No one's eyebrows are super, well, people's are, but your eyebrows kind of get thinner as you go towards that front part. And you kind of stroke it up. And I know you see this little piece right there acting crazy. Don't worry, we're going to clean that up. So let's just go on to the other brow. Actually, I'm going to keep this over here. And I do kind of cross my hands over. And the reason why I love doing my concealer and doing my concealer, then my foundation, is because like you really have the chance to clean up anything where you did too much. So really take advantage of that. Again, I'm turning this brush kind of like that. With the brows, it's really not much to it. It's kind of just getting the stroke down and kind of getting your technique, getting the strokes down, kind of getting a good little brush to work with. So here I am just brushing the hairs. And I really love full looking brows, which is why I really don't cut mine too short. Trim mine too short. Alright, so now it's time for the concealer. Sometimes, like, I really fudge this up, but I just get a little concealer, not a whole lot, because a little goes a long way, and this is a really thick concealer. So sometimes the concealer part is kind of tricky, so I'm getting really close for you guys. See how close to my skin tone that is? To me, that's like so important, because it blends so well with my freaking skin. And because you're putting your makeup on afterwards, like, this is a good base. And then just go like above. And then, I know I look a fool. I'm aware of that fact. So, I'm gonna go right into this one. They don't have quite as much concealer on my brush, which is fine. You don't need a whole lot. See? That looks pretty. So, and then I usually just take my beauty blender. Well, this isn't the beauty blender. This is the Real Techniques blender, which is very comparable to the beauty blender. And just blend it around to kind of smooth out. And sometimes I may even go back in with my dip brow and just because make sure everything's crisp like I need it to be. And like I said, don't worry about that. My little hairs who stick up because I don't want to cut them off. I end up, first of all, brushing them. And then second of all, going in with my brow gel. I brush my hairs up because it's kind of natural looking. brush them over. My friend, some snatched brows. So I'm gonna put a little concealer, a little foundation on just around my eyes really quick, because a lot of people have problems. They say they have problems with blending the concealer and they mess up their brows. Watch. This is why you gotta get the right brushes to apply your makeup, and you ain't gonna have these problems, okay? No shade, I'm just saying. Because when you get the right brushes, and especially like with these blenders, because I love using the blenders, but if you get the right stuff, you ain't gotta worry about all that. And yes, I am just applying foundation around my eyes and forehead, so, and down my nose. So the top part of my face is really the only thing with makeup on. And just really quick, I'm gonna put some setting powder on, so you can also see that don't mess it up either. You gotta get the stuff right. Okay, so my brows behaved. They stayed in place the entire time. So yes, that's how I do my brows. I love the Anastasia Beverly Hills dip brow, and I love the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer. So I just recommend, like, any problems with doing your brows, what I recommend the most is getting the right brushes. Like, the right tools are key, like, so essential. You must have the right things in order to get the right results. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Don't forget to follow my blog. Follow me on Instagram at Drea Deluxe Makeup. My blog is DreaDeluxeBeauty.wordpress.com. Peace, love.